Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about all things meditation and what is all the fuss about. Why should we do it? What the top three actually misconceptions there are surrounding meditation. So stick around. My name is Jana Nixa. I help people master their mindset, raise their vibe, so that they can truly connect with their self and their purpose and live that purpose in their lives. Today's video, we're going to be talking about meditation, what it is, what it is not, but most importantly, the three biggest misconceptions that are out there. So let's really get started. Meditation, what is it? Well, what a loaded question, right? It's so many different things. You know, when I went through meditation teacher training, I think it's when I realized meditation can be anything as simple as breathing or closing your eyes, going on a walk. But I think the most important piece of it is that you truly feel that connection, that fullness with yourself. So, if I had to really capture the essence of it, that's where it is. You're not distracted in your thoughts. You're not in the future or busy, looking at the past. You're staying present in the moment. And that's really the practice of it. So that looks different for everybody. Some people stare at a candle or a fire. So, we'll talk about all different types. Guided meditation was very powerful for me at first because I was such a busybodyer, so type A, so in my own head that it was really difficult even to just sit for a few minutes and breathe. So having a guided meditation was huge. But let's get to the three biggest misconceptions about meditation. I will have to say, hands down, the most important one I hear, or the biggest objection or misconception, I should say, that I hear whenever I tell anybody that I'm a meditation teacher is, oh, I know I should do that, and I've tried, but I cannot get my mind to sit still. And I just want to shut that one right down, because here's the thing. Our minds are made to think, and we have a lot of momentum around thought and action. And, our whole culture is based on doing and going and being and thinking. And so for you to think on your first try or second or even 10th try that you're going to just sit down and clear your head and breathe, I would say for most people that's virtually impossible. So that is really, I would say, the biggest thing. So be patient with yourself. You wouldn't just decide one day that you're going to run a marathon and think that you could just do it with no problem if you've never trained for it. You wouldn't set up those sorts of expectations for yourself, or at least most people wouldn't. And the same goes for meditation. So just know that the practice at first, and this can be for a while, is truly about just bringing yourself back to that present moment and whatever it is that you're trying to create that fullness with your breath, with, looking at a fire, with going on a walk, or listening to a guided meditation. All of these things can keep you centered, grounded, and in the moment. So I hope that helps for any of you that have tried meditation and it's not for me, I can't do it. I heard one person say one time, I can't remember who it was, but that's honestly like saying, eating's just not for me. It's just not my thing. Well, meditation, and I hope that this changes over time, but some form of connection with self, with that inner part of you, I hope it does become as natural as eating, because it certainly is life-changing and so essential for us, for our happiness, for our well-being, for our stress level. So I guess that really brings me to point number 2, and that is this kind of notion that meditation is just for relaxation. And it is. It's great. If you just sit and breathe deeply, It's very relaxing from a scientific, physical standpoint, an emotional standpoint. So certainly, doing the act of meditation can be relaxing. But here's something I really hope that I can communicate to you guys, is that it's so much more. Just to use an analogy for any of you that work out, maybe the reason you started was to lose weight. Or maybe, you just felt like you needed to get healthier. But if you've noticed over time, workout has become so much more for you, more than likely. If you've stuck with it, it becomes part of who you are. It becomes just part of your routine. It becomes therapeutic for you. It becomes an outlet. It becomes a part of self-care that just you can't live without in a lot of cases. And so something that may have started just, to lose a little bit of weight or to fit in a certain, pair of jeans turns into so much more over time. Meditation is the same way. Maybe you've heard you needed to start it because one of your doctors told you, or one of your friends, or, whoever, a coworker. And at first, maybe you do it just for the relaxation of it. But what you're going to find over time, that there's so many other benefits that I just don't think get enough airtime. It changes your perspective on things. It changes how you look at the world, how you feel and think about other people. And most importantly, it changes how you feel and think about yourself. And as those sorts of pieces of you start to come together, you look in the mirror one day with just so much gratitude, knowing that you really have shifted from this almost shell of a person that maybe you were into the fullness of the person that you are now, and all that goes along with that. So yeah, the byproduct of that is you don't worry. You don't stress, or at least not nearly as much. People don't mess with you and get on your nerves and get your goat, if you will, as much as they used to. Things just shift in that way, and you really do just become a more grateful, compassionate person. And so I think that that's probably one of the other biggest misconceptions, that it's just for relaxation. It improves everything. And I think the third thing that people don't really talk about so much is we walk around so much on autopilot. We go through our lives, we go through the motion, we have our routine, and it's just set up, and then that's what we do, and we never question it. We never question, where we spend our time or how we spend our time, or even asking questions like, who am I really and what do I really want? So I would say that's the third thing that, maybe people don't really talk to you about, or you just don't hear as much about with meditation. And that is, it takes you out of that just kind of hypnotical state of must, go do robot 9 to 5 sort of mentality, just running around on that hamster wheel. And it really starts to connect you so much more with the essence of who you are, and helping you connect with, what drives you. It takes you into making maybe different decisions, because, so much of who I was, at least up until meditation, was just going through those motions, and just staying on autopilot. And meditation just starts to really take you out of that state and into a different state where you're looking at it from just a different lens. And you start to approach life in a different way. Because when you aren't just going through those motions and beating that drum, it's amazing how different you see things and hear things and what you focus on. So, I would encourage you to see, if as you start to meditate, how you take yourself out of that thought game. You start to look at these thoughts. And I think one of the biggest gifts that meditation has given me of, when I take myself off this autopilot and I'm looking at a thought that I'm having about a situation instead of just being immersed in that thought, it gives you that space. And what that space creates is a platform for you to choose who you want to be in that moment. And the longer you meditate, or just the better you get at it, I don't know that there's necessarily a time frame, but you really start to separate those two places about you, and it gives you so much more control of who you want to be and how you want to show up. Whereas before, you're just going through it. You feel that emotion, you experience it, and you're just consumed by it, and you never even have the opportunity to look at it and ask. One of the most important questions, at least has been for me, is what is true about this thought that I'm having right now? And what is just a story, or what is true about the experience that I'm having right now? And what is a thought or story that I'm telling myself that I'm having about this experience? And the more space you create there, it just naturally translates into a happier state of mind, a happier being. So thank you all so much for joining me. Those are the three, I think, biggest benefits / misconceptions that we really have about meditation. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can hear more about this. I'm going to be doing a lot more meditation. I'm going to teach you guys about meditation, how to really do it, and why it's not as complicated as I think people have made it out to be. So thank you so much for watching, and keep shining your light.